Hello, everyone. Welcome to Invest. We'll talk about investing, finance, and professional. For today's systems only. The events I'm going to talk today will be Ethereum Tiki Teach. First, I want to say happy Sunday, everyone. Have a great weekend, by the way. Respect to recording time of 7:59 a.m. on the Eastern Time. Ethereum could trade $4,038, now about 1.24% so far. On the overall crypto market, again, right, it's kind of a mixed bag like usual. This weekend has been a relatively calm weekend in comparisons to, I would say, the last 5 consecutive weekends. It's always been some sort of weird media affectation that mix into the stew that we have in front of us. That's also going to drive either a surge or a sell-off, which translates into this relatively of a zigzag type of jungle gym that we've been experiencing so far, right? And on the media front, let's just take a look at it real quick. I would say collectively there isn't really a lot of quantitative news, but there are some like qualitative news that talks about some of the recent activities with respect to the pump or the surge. Some recap with respect to what we talked about yesterday. So there isn't a lot of major activities, but some trivial ones that pops out would be about 10 hours ago, talk about with respect to the re-elected Miami mayor, Francis Suarez. I hope I say his last name correctly. He's planning on taking his 401k retirement savings partly in Bitcoin. So it seems like there's more politicians, to celebrities, to athletes are, choosing to take their compensation or in retirement savings, in this case 401k, in partially in Bitcoin. It doesn't really say how much or what's the percentage of his retirement portfolio, but it's good to know that this person believes in the long-term value proposition, and that's why you put this in your retirement savings. And then the next one is on CNBC about 11 hours ago. Talk about Bitcoin mining has totally recovered from Chinese ban. Seems like despite obviously the stringent regulatory dynamics based out of China, the Bitcoin network and the Ethereum network, obviously the mining infrastructure and ecosystem, withstood the attack by the major superpower from China, obviously. So despite the mandatory ban with relatively serious consequences, a lot of the technologists are able to maneuver by outsourcing to other platforms or transferring their holdings to another foreign wallet, which bypassed obviously the Chinese regulatory ecosystem, if you may, right? So good news overall, I would say. That translates into the more of a flat momentum at the moment. So I'll keep an eye out on if we hear any other news as we progress through the day, right? And just to give you guys a heads up, I think on Sunday, because of the fact that the international side of the house, most people are still sleeping at the moment. It's technically like 8 p.m. if you talk about like in Hong Kong time or in China. So we will hear more news as we shift towards later of the day on the domestic side, because that's when people wake up and that's when generals start to pump their news, and we should see some volatility ahead as the Monday arise for international side of the house again, right? So we should see some news pops up around like 4:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. around that time frame. So I'll keep an eye out on it. So let's just dive into technicals. Respect to recording time of 8:03 a.m. on Eastern Time. Ethereum controlling $4,044, down about 1.08% so far. With respect to current momentum right now, we're just hovering above the 4,000 mark, right? Which is something that we appreciate, is something that we're consolidating, building upon the architectural support. Form that foundation, right? And at the moment right now, the 45 out of 70. So it's not terrible, it's actually relatively normal. That we're just staying flat, right? It's sitting still in the water. Maybe it's calm before the storm. That's what we're seeing in front of us right now, because the 14th and 15th, which is technically Tuesday and Wednesday, so it's happening relatively shortly, would be the FOMC meeting, right? Which we will hear about the inflationary pressure, the quantitative tapering, and that will triangulate with respect to any sell-off or buying pressure on the equity market, right? And we'll hear some more about the COVID variants Omicron progression, right? Seems like some cases are spreading in respective states in the U.S. So we will hear some updates from Jerome Powell from himself. It's a 2 meetings, right? So it's 14 and 15. I think the official transcript is going to be released on the 15th. I don't think the 14th will really hear much. I think it's more of a closed door meeting. We'll see. Sometimes they might broadcast it on YouTube or on other platforms, so we'll see how that goes. But if they hear any keywords that's relatively have a negative tone, we could be in for another sharp sell-off, which is possible. But know the fact that this sharp sell-off was majorly driven by the leverage, just getting wiped out. I don't really think that we're gonna drop all the way back down to 3,472 again, because that would be quite if that was the case, it would be quite bearish, because that would basically form and confirm the head and shoulder that we have seen in front of us. But I think we're still in the cup and handle pattern, which I believe so. And I don't think we should have another reason to sell off, especially for this window dressing affectation among fund managers. So that's just not the most logical frame of psychology. If I was a fund manager, would I be want to wipe off my holding because so I will have a poor return by the end of the year? Think of your, because you do have fiduciary duty to be a good investor, right? At the end of the day, to at least artificially create some good returns, right? So we'll see how that goes. If I was a fund manager, that's what I would be positioning myself to do. Bitcoin is currently up about 0.5%, curving up right now. Attempting to break again 50k, which I think we're getting there shortly. But right now, just fly in the water because of lack of news. So I think at the moment right now it's still a good buy, despite like surging a little bit back up. Obviously, if you were able to get in at the 42, that was amazing. Do we see further sell-off? I don't think so, because we're relatively depleted right now. If we're gonna keep going down to like the 40, that's drilling oil and not be logical at all. So I would probably buy some Bitcoin if you are interested. Dogecoin, again, still a buy with a 31 out of 70. It's just like really dead right now, or looks like it's really dead right now. But I think it's a downward wedge. So I like this. This is a relatively good setup in terms of risk versus reward ratio. If you talk about like in complete opposite, this is like complete opposite to where we were before when we were all-time high. This is like we're like complete all-time dead at the moment. So hopefully that makes sense in that just position. Cardano's flat right now. I think right now is still a good level to buy. I think we're about to form a golden cross. And as we form that, we might hear some positive news coming, and then next one will be surging up to 145, 173 from there. We see a relatively big leap from 145 to 173, but that's how the setup is like that for technical, so which is quite interesting. Solana right now, again, right, anywhere from 157, 133 to 113 is still a better level for myself. Again, right? But if you want to buy now, we're at the 36 right now, so it's not terrible. But for me, I just want to be a little bit more thoughtful. But I think Solana is not a bad buy right now either. XRP is down about 1% right now. Again, hovering, ping-ponging between 88 and 78. About to form a golden cross, 36 out of 70. So yeah, XRP is a good buy right now. I like this. Polkadot is up about 4%. Yeah, it seems like we are reversing across the market as well. This is also reversing. So anywhere from current level to 25 is still a good level. ALGORAND's up about close to 3% right now. Anywhere from current level all the way to 136, right, is still a good level. I believe we're still oversold, yeah, at the 40, so not terrible either for ALGORAND. Shiba Inu, just struggling. We are having a downward wedge right now. And I think with respect to the more logical level for me would be anywhere from 2,900 to 900 would still be the frame that I would be buying at, because right now we're still kind of levitating, but much better than when we were at the 8,000 level. We're relatively depleted right now, so not terrible level. MacTac down about 3.5%. Anyway, from 175 to 143, we're about to form a death cross. So yeah, this is not going to be fun to watch for those that have been holding or buy at the 258. But this is not like, I'm not a wizard, right? This is just technicals coming true, and I know we're going to be in for a sell-off. So mentally prepare yourself. I've been saying this for the last, I would say, 7 videos so far. AVAX down about 1.3%, 42. So I think, yeah, right now it's okay, but 81 to 60 is still a better frame for me to incur risk at. So with respect to risk management level, these are levels that we are, identified with respect to what we just talked about on the technical front. There's some revisions here and there. Again, right, I want to be precise, and these are the levels that we ideally want to be dollar cost averaging at, depending on your risk tolerance. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a relatively calm day, as I hope. It's been a calm weekend as well, in comparison to previous weekends. But the 14 and 15 is gonna be major in a macro perspective, and I hope that after we jump through that hurdle, we will be on for a good ride ahead of us. Towards Christmas and then New Year's, right? So I am optimistic. I think we will be in a relatively healthy, good ending by the end of this year. So we'll see how that goes. Based on the chart right now, a lot of reversals, a lot of good signs of forming a golden cross, across the market actually. So it's great. I like this. So hope you guys have a great rest of the Sunday, and let me know if you have any questions, and stay tuned to come up. Take care. Bye.